Good morning, everyone. My name is John Joshua Lapping, and the topic that I'm gonna report is the mechanisms for minimizing toxic effect. The mechanism for minimizing toxic effects, a primary concept in toxicology, is that every substance is capable of being poisonous under certain conditions. Fortunately, most of the chemicals have some safety level or the threshold that is below their effects, which will enable them to be undetected or insignificant throughout our lifetime. We consume some of these chemicals in lethal dosage. Still, if consumed in small amount or dosage, it will eventually be excreted or broken down before inflicting harm to the body, and the damage caused can be repaired. However, mechanisms that enable us to protect us from any toxins present in our body become deleterious with other substances or in another stage of development. For example, chemicals might themselves be toxic or require metabolism chemical change within the body before they cause toxicity. Next is metabolic mechanisms. Naturally, organisms contain enzymes that process waste products and environmental poisons, which reduce toxicity levels in mammals. Most of these enzymes are in the liver, the primary sites of detoxification of both natural waste and introduce poisons, excretions, and also one method of reducing and eliminating these toxins in the body. Breathing helps in excreting volatile molecules such as carbon dioxide, hydrogen, cyanide, and ketones. Sweat also helps in the extraction of excess salts and other substances. Example of a metabolic pathways is a series of connected chemical reactions that feed another one. Next is repair mechanisms. Our body performs a damage repair function caused by the exposure to regular wear and tear or toxic or hazardous materials. It allows individual cells to have enzymes to help repair the damage in the deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, and protein at the molecular level, organs and tissues, the skin and the epithelial lining of our gastrointestinal tract, blood vessels, lungs, and urogenital system have a capabilities of having high circular reproduction rates to replace damaged cells. Example, DNA bases may be modified by deamination or alkylation. Next is measuring toxicity. Uh, in controlled condition, it is the most commonly used widely accepted toxicity test to expose a population of laboratory animals to measured doses of specific substances. This procedure takes so much time, painful, expensive, and debilitating to the animals used as specimens in tests. Those are response curves are not always symmetrical, making it challenging to compare the toxicity of unlike chemicals or different species of organisms. Example, toxicity can be measured by the effect that substance have on an organism, a tissue, or a cell, and we know that individuals will respond differently to the same dose of a substance because of a number of factors including their gender, age, and body weight. Next is acute and chronic doses are used to delineate between effects on the basis of severity or duration. Acute effects usually occur rapidly as a result of short-term exposures and are of short duration. Chronic effects generally occur as a result of long-term exposure and are of long duration. Next is acute effects. Having the effects of most toxics we have discussed, they are caused by a single exposure to the toxin and result in an immediate health crisis of some sort. An individual survives an urgent crisis due to an acute reaction, most likely because the effects are reversible. Example, acute effects include dizziness, skin irritation, and throat irritation. Keep in mind that a chemical may cause both acute and chronic effects. And the last is chronic effect. A constant effect can result from a single dose of a very toxic substance resulting from a continuous or repeated sublethal exposure. We also describe long-lasting vulnerabilities as chronic, although their effects may or may not persist after the toxin is removed. It usually is challenging to assess the specific health risks, such as aging or joint disease, as simultaneously with the consideration under study. Example of chronic effects, including pulmonary tuberculosis and many cases lead of poisoning. That's all.